What we're going to do is today we're going to talk about how do you recession proof your business, your coaching business, obviously, more specifically, and more so, how do you get clients who are essentially recession proof? Because here's the thing. One of the problems that people have is they get scared as coaches that, oh my gosh, if an impending recession or economic slowdown happens, that people are going to stop buying multi-thousand-dollar coaching programs. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. For example, I have been in this industry since about 2005 in some form or when full time. I started in 2003 and was full time in 2005. So you think about every single economic situation that's happened from 2003 until this recording of this video of April 5th, 2025. I've been through it all in pretty much the high ticket coaching space for pretty much all of it. So all the housing crash, the big banking crisis, whenever that was in '08 or whatever, and then into the issues of 2020, 21, 22 that we all experienced that changed everything, and then so on and so forth, all of them, political stuff, everything. So I want to explain to you what happens during economic downturns and how to get your coaching business ready. So the first thing you need to do is you need to understand, I just got some notes here, is the overarching picture is that if you are helping somebody, what you have to remember is that people are buying certainty when they're buying coaching, okay? And what does economic, whatever situations cause? Uncertainty, okay? So essentially what you are doing is you're selling certainty. You're helping people get better health, overcome anxiety, fix their businesses. All these various things that you coach people on is creating the thing they want the most, which is certainty. When there's economic uncertainty and chaos, it sort of creates this dark cloud over everybody's head. So they are seeking what you are selling. You see, coaching is not a luxury that people buy. Coaching fills a need, it fixes a serious problem. So it's not essentially that people are saying, boy, should I go on to Australia for a vacation this year? They're not trying to decide between that or should I just go to a town 2 hours away and have like a staycation this year for my vacation type thing, and that might be what they're doing with travel, but they don't do it with coaching, and I'm going to explain to you why. So you need to remember you're helping people create certainty in an uncertain economic time. Okay, so the overall experience that I've had is the more uncertainty there is in the economy, in the whole situation out there, the less issues there are in the coaching industry. You see, when times are amazing and everybody's house is going up 20, 30% a year and interest rates are at like 1%, people can tend to cover up their problems, right? I've got a ton of money, I'm refinancing my house, borrowing money at super low rates, and a lot of that covers up problems, right? Whether health, whatever it is. And so I would argue in my experience in the past that when the economy is doing amazing, the coaching industry kind of takes a back seat from my experience. So the worse it does, the worse the economy is, the better I believe the coaching industry works. In all my experience of doing this, and there's very few people in this industry who have been through as much as me, who have seen it all and has sort of rode through all the cycles. So I know what I'm talking about. And I've seen it in all kinds of different markets. So what I want to do is I want to explain to you what you need to do. There are a few things that you need to do to prepare yourself, okay? The first thing that you need to do is you absolutely need to target buyers who have money, okay? That's obviously a given. But you need to pay specific attention right now, and you need to make sure you are targeting people who are professionals, who ideally are making at least 6 figures a year. Because come on, 6 figures a year in a family income, I mean, that's not a lot anymore. It's better than not, right? It's better to make 6 figures than not, but it's not considered what it was 15, 20 years ago, right? Like 100 or 120,000 a year doesn't get a family that far after taxes, especially if you're paying half of it in taxes and so on and so forth. So you want to be targeting 6 figures per year income earners, professionals, people who absolutely have money. And you need to be intentional about how you're doing it on your ads and targeting the committed people, okay? They go together, because what you got to realize is because somebody has money doesn't mean they want to give it to you, right? Just because they have money doesn't mean they have a problem, okay? And so that's what a lot of coaches make the mistake. They're like, well, I'm just going to target people who have money. Well, that's fine. That's only half the equation, right? They have to have money and have a problem versus be interested in fixing the problem. Okay, they can have money, but maybe they're interested in fixing the problem and not committed to fixing the problem. So they have to have money and a commitment have to go together, and you need to be targeting those people no matter what. And that has to be priority number one, using your ads. You have to be doing that in your ads. And let me talk to you about how. Before we get to number two is the most important thing you need to be doing. And number three, I would say two and three are the most important. But before we get to that, just remember, you need to click the link below and set up your free Skool community success call. Obviously, you're in our Skool community if you're most likely watching this video, and we want to give you a free 15-minute success call, explain to you what you need to be doing, help you understand in more detail how to do this stuff, unlock some advanced training that we have set aside that is normally reserved for our paying clients. I want to give it to you on how to do some of this stuff, things you need to know. And on this call, we're going to uncover this, going to walk you through it, and talk about some strategies on how to fix it. It's going to one-on-one, 15-minute call, nothing to buy. Keep your credit card in the freezer. Do not bring it, okay? There's nothing to buy. And you can click that link below, right below this video, or in the pinned post. So I would pause this and do it now before you forget, or at least while you're watching this video so you can get that call. And we're going to go into a lot of detail on that call, how to help you scale it, your stuff, find the buyers, get the ads working properly, all these things that you absolutely need to be doing in economic uncertain times. Now, the second thing you need to be doing is understanding how to properly build trust. There is no more trust in the marketplace, and when there's economic uncertainty, it just goes through everything. It's like a bad, fast-moving cancer, and it affects people's confidence. So it's not that your ideal client doesn't trust you. They don't trust anybody, and worst of all, they don't trust themselves. They're scared, they're worried, they're living in fear, and you need to help them understand how to trust you. Giving more testimonials doesn't work, more like case studies, all that kind of stuff. Everybody has that. And so you need to understand how to build an ecosystem in your business that gets people into a high value automated webinar, that builds a huge amount of trust, that gets them to book calls, and to build in the ecosystem around that for all the people that don't book those calls through strategic retargeting strategies to really create that mini celebrity status. So they're on Facebook, they're seeing you everywhere, and that kind of thing, and so on and so forth. And building out the trust system to get them to buy in the follow-up sequences. But because here's the cool thing. A lot of people are going to see your stuff and they might not buy for 2 months. And if you do not have the proper trust mechanisms in place to continue to build that relationship strategically, you're never going to see those people. And if you're just relying on people coming to register, book a call, you're missing out on probably 60 to 70% of potential buyers that you could be getting otherwise, and probably you're not even going to make this thing profitable. And so that's the second most important thing you need to do, because in economic uncertainty, people are scared. And it's not that they think you're going to rip them off. It's just they don't have trust. So we need to get that trust built. And that's number 2. Number 3 is you need to understand that the best people are buying themselves out of the biggest problem. Okay? So what is the biggest problem that you can help fix? And that requires you going super deep in your market, because the people who have the biggest problem, so right, it's a combination of these 4 things. The people who make the most money, they have to have money, ideally 6 figures a year. And number 2, they have to be able to trust you, okay? And number 3, like we said, they have to have the biggest pain. Like, what is the biggest problem? Because people will spend the most money to fix the biggest problem, okay? It's why people will spend $5 on a year's supply of vitamins at Costco, but they'll spend $1,000 a month fixing a major issue that requires a prescription. Same kind of concept, although it breaks down, obviously. But my point is this: your job is to solve the biggest problem they could possibly have, because they will pay you the most. And when there's economic uncertainty, this is the literal combination. Solve the biggest problem, because you're coaching, if it's 10K and they feel like they have a $100,000 problem, it's easy to do the math on. And it doesn't need to be financial. It could be spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, all those other things, relational, so on and so forth. financial might not even come into the equation. And you have to build the most trust so that they trust themselves and trust you, because there's so many other options out there. And thirdly, you got to target the buyers who are 6-figure or plus earners, and they have to be able to not in a place of interested. They must be committed. So those are the things that we got to do so that you can navigate these next months or years ahead of economic uncertainty. And here's the thing. Whatever happens in the future, it's going to continue to happen. It cycles all the time, right? And so if it's not bad this time, you need to have all this in place, because who knows, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, it might happen again, or it might be worse, and you're going to be positioned to take care of it. So click that link, book your Skool community call right away, so that or your success call, so that we can help you understand how the ads properly need to be working to target these people, so that we can talk to you on this free call about strategies to implement these 4 things, give you some extra free training, and just give you a second set of eyes, because we've done probably 1,000 of these calls. We're really good at it. It's totally free because you're in our Skool community. All right, click that link to book that call, and hopefully this helps.